Okay, so uh, the story that I have for how I learned my role in the world is kind of like a long story that has been ongoing throughout most of my life, ever since I was in elementary school. It's kind of like the story of my parents' marital problems. And like it really hit like a hole recently, like over this past calendar year. There was just a lot of stuff that happened. Both sides were doing bad things, and it was just a big mess. And at a certain point, my mom was just venting to me, telling me about like all of these things that like had been said. And then one of the things that she said, and it was like what really changed everything for me, that made me realize like my place in my family and in the world, was she said that the only reason why they were still together is because they had been planning to stay together until both of me and my brother had graduated from high school, and that the second that I graduated, that they were planning on splitting up. And so when they said that, I kind of, you can click, it kind of made me feel like a burden, not in like, I feel bad for being their kid or something, but just like, I felt bad that they felt obligated to stay together and be unhappy because of me. And so in that way, I've kind of changed to try and like mitigate that, I guess, and like take more responsibility and, not be mad at them if I don't see them together, stuff like that. And then it also made me realize that kids are like sometimes more responsible than adults, because when everything happened, it was just a mess, and I was thinking that I was totally more mature in the situation than they were, and they weren't able to like figure out themselves. They needed advice and stuff. So within my family and within even the world, I've started to step up more and realize that just because I'm a little bit younger, it doesn't really mean that I'm not valid in what I think, that I could be just as mature, and what I say is probably just as smart, if not smarter, than what some adults are saying. And so I've taken a lot of leadership roles because now I want to like take over for the adults who are all stupid and dumb. And in general, it also kind of just made me lose some like childish idealism, which I mean by that like a lot of times when you're a kid, you just think that like adults can do no wrong, and that like all of the arguments that they have, everything results to like something positive. And I wouldn't necessarily say it resulted to something negative. It was just like not positive though. And so I feel like that changed that as well. It made me realize that adults do have faults, and so we should like recognize that. And then you can click. And so the moral of the story for me is that I don't want to be in Indiana. I don't really want to stay here because, I don't know, I just don't like thinking about like what's going to happen afterwards. So I'm really excited to like try and branch out and go to college outside the state and have a dorm room and stuff, like my own house, individual to me. And then I've also focused more on other relationships, so like friendships, and then friendships with my mentor, who is kind of like a mother figure to me too. And then I also realized that I have to be willing to forgive people, and that's something that I wasn't really good at up until now. I like whenever bad things would happen, whether it be from like friends or my parents or like anybody, I would just get mad about it, and I would get over it eventually, but I would never like really forgive them for that. I would just let it stay in my mind like forever. But now I'm realizing that to really get over something, you have to be able to forgive them. And so that's how that's changed my role as well. It's made me realize forgiveness is more important. Okay, and that's it.